What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Light Talks Football, and welcome to another episode of Premier League predictions. And as you can see, there's only two games left. Two games left to the Premier League before the FIFA World Cup begins. So it's coming in thick and fast. So we've got this weekend, the next weekend, and a weekend after that will be the final Premier League game of the season. So it's coming in thick and fast. So yeah, man. The title race, is still gonna be decided if it's going to be Man City or Arsenal, because obviously Arsenal won their game against Fulham 3-0. Man City, they dropped points 3-3. But Man City do have a game in hand. And in terms of the title race, boy, Man City have really got to win this game because they're home to Brentford. If they drop points again and Arsenal beat West Ham, then yeah, Arsenal would definitely win the league. So if Man City can still have a chance of winning the league, they need to make sure they win their game and Arsenal drop points away to West Ham, because that's Arsenal's next game, a London derby away to West Ham. And West Ham are fighting for their lives as well. And Brentford also fighting for Europe. So ain't gonna be easy for both teams, but we shall see. In terms of Europe, Arsenal, in fact, all of the three English clubs are in a European final. So we got Arsenal will be facing PSG for the Champions League final in Budapest. We've got Aston Villa facing SC Freiburg for the Europa League final in Istanbul. And then we got Strasbourg facing Rayo Vallecano for the UEFA Conference League final in Leipzig. So yeah, man, big up to Arsenal, big up to Crystal Palace, and to Aston Villa as well. And I tell you what, yeah, if Aston Villa does win the Europa League and they finish sixth, then that means that sixth place will guarantee the Champions League. And in fact, before I get into my prediction, I would just like to say, Chelsea Football Club, like, you got blood on your hands, man. You got blood on your hands because yesterday, Aston Villa beat Nottingham Forest 4-0. Yeah, 4-0 yesterday. Nottingham Forest, by the way, rested seven or five or maybe eight players in that squad, you know, and they started their A team and they got absolutely battered. So what I don't understand is that how comes Aston Villa managed to beat Forest's A team, whereas for Chelsea, we couldn't beat Nottingham Forest B/C team? Like, it's an absolute disgrace, man. Absolute disgrace. And listen, even though we would have won that game, I still don't believe we're going to get Europe. And we still don't deserve it. Aston Villa deserve to be in Europe next season because they're in Europa League final. So there's um, no chance of them being out of the Champions League unless they drop off massively. And look at this. We're allowing the likes of if I look at the table right now, Bournemouth right now, yeah, are in sixth place. Yeah. They're in sixth. You know, Bournemouth, yeah, could make European football for the first time in their club's history. Their stadium, by the way, is like 11,317 something. Yeah? The smallest stadium in the Premier League, Bournemouth, and they're going to make Europe for the first time in our history. The same goes to Brentford. They've never been in Europe before, and they could go back to it again. Brighton have been in the Europa League, so same goes for Everton and Fulham. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, I don't want to talk about Chelsea, but that's the first game, for the Premier League predictions: Liverpool versus Chelsea. And the way I see this right now, people, is that you know what? Yeah, let me just go to my predictions. Then I'll talk about Chelsea for a few minutes. But yeah, man, well done to Arsenal, well done to Villa, and well done to Palace. Let's see if all of those English clubs can win their European final. In the club's history. So there you go. But yeah, man, make sure you guys are like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to type this video as well because it will aim my channel's goal for a bit. and I'm still on the road to 1K. So if you guys can help me to get there, then that would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, make sure you guys do those things for me. All right, so without further ado, let's go. All right, so the first game, like I mentioned before, is an earlier kickoff between Liverpool and Chelsea. Of course, both teams lost their last Premier League game, and both teams have conceded 3 goals. Liverpool conceded 3 against Man United away. For Chelsea, we conceded 3 at home against Nottingham Forest. So, I mean, this used to be like if Chelsea would have, picked up some points, this game could have been very interesting. The battle for the Champions League. But now it's just nothing really. Like Liverpool are definitely getting Champions League or not. So what's even the points? But yeah, like I said, man, Chelsea were an absolute disgrace yesterday. No Morgan Gibbs White, no Callum Hudson-Odoi, no Amari Hutchinson, no Anderson, nothing like that. And we lost 3-1, yeah, against Nottingham Forest B team. And when they started their big players, they lost 4-0 away to Villa yesterday. Like honestly, real disgrace. But in terms of Liverpool, I mean, listen, they're in a bad bad situation at the moment because Arne Slot, it looks like he's staying. It looks like he's staying for Liverpool, and if you're a Liverpool fan, that ain't good. That ain't really good. But listen, I like Don Hussein said, this is like Liverpool have lost 11 games. This is the worst season Liverpool have ever had, and yet will Chelsea are below them. After spending so much money, it's an absolute disgrace, man. It really is a disgrace. So yeah, we'll be facing each other. Like this game, is always be a draw. But to be honest with you, since Chelsea like to keep losing games, we're gonna lose this one. And guess what, people? This could actually happen. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, the gap between ninth and 16th is 6 points. That is the gap right now. So if Chelsea, yeah, continue to lose games while the teams below us continue to win, at the end of this season, Chelsea could finish 16th. 16th, yeah? And we're lucky, yeah, that Enzo Wesker didn't get sacked before the season starts. Because if that would have happened, yeah, we could have been relegated. We could have been relegated. So yeah, man, we're just in a mess right now. We're in a mess right now. So for me, top four is not guaranteed. Champions League football is not guaranteed, and especially Europe is definitely not guaranteed. So you know what? The only game I'm looking forward to is the FA Cup. So listen, if we win, then I'll be happy, but I still wouldn't care at this point. If we draw or lose, then I ain't gonna be reactionary because what is even the point, man? This club is it's just broken me from pillar to post, man. Like there's nothing I can say or do anymore. I have nothing left. I have nothing left. So we'll just see, man. But anyway, in terms of Chelsea, Robert Sanchez is out because of that collision between him and Morgan Gibbs White last week. So he's out. So Philippe Jorgensen is definitely starting. There's still no Garnacho and Neto, even though I don't both rate them. Of course, Jesse Derry had to be taken to hospital, so he's not going to be playing anymore, which is a shame. Because, like I said, Jesse Derry is an 80-year-old, yeah, did more in 40 minutes than than Garnacho did for Chelsea this season. Yeah, embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing, and it's still no Estefao. So that means is that Enzo Fernandez might be playing in the 10. We're going to see João Pedro as a left wing, which is never done before. Palmer on the right wing, and what else? Liam Delap up top. Now, some people in my group chat telling me that you like to see Delap and João Pedro up top. And listen, I don't think that's a bad idea. But I see Callum McFarland doing that. I don't think so. So we shall see, man. But either way, I'm not confident and we're definitely going to lose. So, but as usual, let's just see some stats for this game. So Liverpool have lost the last 2 Premier League games against Chelsea, as many as they have in their previous 20. They last lost 3 in a row against the Blues between December 2013 and November 2014. Following their 2-1 win at Stamford Bridge in October, Chelsea are looking to repeat the league double over Liverpool for the first time since the 13-14 season. Of course, that was under Brendan Rodgers. Chelsea have won just one of their last 10 Premier League away games against Liverpool, a 1-0 victory in March 2021 under Thomas Tuchel. Of course, that was with no fans, so that doesn't count. Liverpool have lost 11 Premier League matches this season, their most since the 14-15 campaign under Brendan Rodgers when they lost 12. The Reds have also lost 18 in all competitions, last loss in more in the 09-10 season. Chelsea have lost each of their last 6 Premier League games. Only once in their league history have they ever lost 7 in a row, doing so in November or slash December 1952. Yeah. And do you know which person that I know was born in that year? Pastor Matthew Shimolowo. He was born on the 17th of March 1952, and he supports Chelsea. Yeah. So he would have, if Chelsea would have lose tomorrow, which of course it will happen, then Pastor Matthew would have only seen Chelsea lose 7 league games in a row twice, yeah? And I'll only see it once in my lifetime. It's just a joke, man. Also, Chelsea have conceded in each of their last 13 league games, shipping 3 goals in 4 of their last 5. They had a longer one without a clean sheet between March and August 1991, which is 17. And of course, that was before the Premier League began. And finally, Liverpool have conceded 2 or more goals in 16 different Premier League matches this season. Only in the 12 to 13 season have they done some more after the campaign, which is 17 games. So you can clearly see that these stats don't work in both teams' favor, particularly Chelsea. So, but yeah, listen, Liverpool, they may have been awful this season, especially with the amount of money that they spent, but they're beating us, man. Liverpool are beating us because I don't see any way we're gonna win this game. It's either gonna be a draw or Liverpool loss. But yeah, man, when you've got no Estevao, no Jesse Dewey, the fact that João Pedro has got to be playing in the position where he's not good. Yeah, I don't see us scoring this game. And yeah, Liverpool, them like yeah, it's their last game was at Crystal Palace at home, and they beat them 3 and Palace 3-1. So to be honest with you, I mean, like I've got nothing to say. Like this game for me, just forfeit this game and just move on into the FA Cup because that's the only important game we've Chelsea have got, and that's it. So for this game tomorrow, 3-0 Liverpool. I don't see us scoring, even though we did break that goal scoring curse. I just don't see that happening because Liam Delap will be playing up top. There's no Jesse Derry. There is no Jamie Gittins. There's no Garnacho. There's no Estefao. Palmer's been awful this season. Enzo in the 10. Like, it could work, but didn't work in the last game. Well, of course, maybe. Like, in the first half, he done a bit good, Enzo Fernandez, and especially hitting the post. But I do not see where the goals is coming from. So, 3-0 Liverpool. Liverpool goal scorers, I'm hearing that Isak is back. Like, if Will starts this game, then he's going to be cooking Gusto because Gusto in that last game against Wolves was absolutely abysmal. So yeah, man, 3-0 Liverpool. I don't know going to be the goal scorers for Liverpool, but all I know is that Liverpool are going to definitely destroy us, like they usually do, especially on the pot. So yeah, 3-0 to Liverpool. It's going to be a my score prediction for that game tomorrow. All right, let's move on into the 3 p.m. kickoff games. And the first one is Brighton versus Wolves. Of course, Brighton lost 3-1 away to Newcastle, which I didn't expect. But for Wolves, another game where they simply cannot win. They drew 1-1 against a 10-man Sunderland. So, yeah, Wolves had the chance to get get some wins and try them to have like a relegation survival miracle, but that is not the case. So for me, I mean, I'm not going to bother reading out those stats because what is even the point? We know that Brighton are looking to get into Europe, potentially the Champions League, if Aston Villa do win the Europa League, and they're in 5th place right now. For Wolves, they've got nothing left. They really don't. So for my final one standard, by the way, for William Hill, I picked Brighton because yes, they've lost away to Newcastle, but they're in a really good run of form and they're batting up for Europe as well. So for this game tomorrow, I'm also gonna go for another 3-0. And it's gonna go to Brighton. So yeah, man, Brighton are in good form. Wolves not so much. They're still relegated and are gonna be in the championship for next season. So yeah, man, 3-0 to Brighton. Goal scorers, Mitoma, Danny Welbeck to score twice, and that is it. So yeah, 3-0 to Brighton. It's going to be my score prediction tomorrow. So there we go. All right. The next game is Fulham versus Bournemouth. In fact, speaking of Fulham, Crystal Palace are this close of getting wait, no, actually no, I'm wrong. It's not the Fulham manager, it's the Bournemouth manager, by the way. In fact, by the way, yeah, Bournemouth Ariola is very close to joining Crystal Palace. So Bournemouth want to hopefully, end the season by making it to Europe. And Bournemouth, by the way, are in a really good run of form. Really good run of form. Like, if I take a look at their form, they've won three and drawn two in their last five Premier League games. Do you know what I mean? So Bournemouth right now, if they keep winning games, then they're the team that could, if Bournemouth win from now until the end of the season, then they're the team, yeah, that could make history. Bournemouth have never been in Europe before, and this could be the first time in their history that they could. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. It really is crazy. But anyway, let's just see the stats for this one. So let's have a look. Here it is. So, um, Fulham Fulham have won just two of their last nine Premier League meetings with Bournemouth. 1-0 away in April 2019 and 3-1 at home in February 2024. Bournemouth have won their last two Premier League games against Fulham. They are looking to complete the double for them for the first time in a competition, last doing so in any division in the 14 to 15 season, which was the Championship. Fulham have failed to score in five of their last seven Premier League games, though they did win both, which they found the net in this one. The Coyotes have only failed to score in five of their last first 28 league games this term. Following victories against Burnley and Aston Villa, Fulham are looking to win three consecutive home league games for the first time since December 2023. Um, Also, Bournemouth are unbeaten in their last 15 Premier League games, both their longest one and the longest current one of any side in the competition, which is winning seven and drawing eight. The only team to have a longer one with all of their games coming while sitting outside of the top five in the table are Manchester United in October 2016 and March 2017, which was 18 times. And finally, Bournemouth conceded 27 goals in first nine Premier League away games this season, shipping at least three goals on seven occasions. They have now conceded just six times in the last eight on the road. I've never more twice in a match. So you can clearly see that these stats do work in Bournemouth's favour, and in fact that they're unbeaten in the last 15 Premier League games just shows you that they're doing a really good job. And if, like I say, if they keep on winning games, then they will definitely make it to Europe, especially the Europa League, which they've never done before. So yeah, man, give credit to Bournemouth. So of course, Bournemouth got that 3-0 win at home to Crystal Palace, whereas for Fulham, they lost 3-0 away to Arsenal. So, yeah, man. So, for this game tomorrow, I was predicting a 2-1 Bournemouth win, but the fact that Fulham have failed to score in the last three Premier League games, especially away from home, I'm going to go for Bournemouth. Actually, no. Fulham tend to score at home, but away from home, they don't. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to stick to 2-1 Bournemouth. Yeah, I'm going to stick to 2-1 to Bournemouth. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go for 3-1 Bournemouth. Yeah, because Fulham They conceded 3 goals in the last few games, especially away from home. So you know what? I'm gonna go 3-1 Bournemouth because I was tempted to go 2-1, but I'm like, now full Bournemouth are a really good team. They really are. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-1 Bournemouth on this one. The only goal scored for Fulham, I'm gonna go for is Wow Jimenez. For Bournemouth goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Eve Valenson, Justin Kluivert, and yeah, someone else to score. So yeah, 3-1 to Bournemouth. It's gonna be my score prediction for that game on tomorrow. So there we go. So yeah, 3-1 Bournemouth. All right. The next game is Sunderland versus Manchester United. Of course, Sunderland got a 1-0 draw against Wolves down to 10 men. But for Man United, a huge, huge win against Liverpool. And because of that win, Man United have secured Champions League football. So Michael Carrick's doing a really good job. Really good job. And by the way, yeah, by the way, that haircut guy is just 2 wins away from getting sorry, yeah, Frank is just 2 wins away from getting a haircut because Man United have won 3 games in a row. 3 games in a row. So all Man United have to do to get Frank a haircut is to beat Sunderland away and then Nottingham Forest at home. So it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So Frank is almost there, man. He's almost there. But Sunderland are looking to, bounce back after that 5-0 defeat at home to Nottingham Forest, which was their last game at the Stadium of Light, which is absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But let's just see some stats for this one. So Sunderland have won just 3 of the last 33 Premier League games against Manchester United, with their 24 defeats against the Red Devils, the most against any opponent in the competition. Man United have lost just 1 of the last 15 visits to the Stadium of Light to face Sunderland in the Premier League, going down 2-1 in February 2016. Sunderland haven't won any of their last 28 Premier League matches against sides starting the day in the top 4 of the table since a 2-1 victory away at Chelsea in April 2014 under Gus Poyet. Since Michael Carrick's first Premier League game in charge of Manchester United this season on the 17th of January, Manchester United have won more points than any other side. Carrick has won more points in his 14 games than Ruben Amorim managed in his 20 games this season, which was 31. Only Wolves, Burnley, and Nottingham Forest have opened the scoring in fewer Premier League games than Sunderland this season. However, the Black Cats are one of 3 sides still unbeaten when scoring first, along with Forest and tomorrow's opponents, Manchester United. And that's it, man. That is it. So you can clearly see that Man United have a very good record at the Stadium of Light. Only lost once of their 15 visits. So there we go. So for me, yeah, it's so tough to be. Actually, it's so tough. It's not tough to predict, but I feel like Man United will concede. They will definitely will concede, but I think Man United will get the job done. They will get the job done. So and listen, if they do lose, then they, of course they'll be disappointed, but they've already got Champions League football. So yeah, man. So I think Manchester United under Michael Carrick will continue to remain unbeaten and continue to win games. And Bruno Fernandes, like I mentioned, is just 2 assists away from breaking that record. So he may not get an assist against Liverpool, but he'll definitely get one against Sunderland, especially at the Stadium of Light. So yeah, man, in terms of my score prediction, I'm gonna go for a Man United win of let's go for hmm I mean, Sunderland then do tend to concede 2 or 3 goals at home in the last few games. So you know what? I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Man United win. I think they'll win comfortably. I feel like Sunderland will will tend to let's say I think Man United will score 2 goals to make it 2-0. Then Sunderland will get the goal, but then Man United will get one more goal, and that's basically it. So I think Man United will win this game comfortably. So I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Manchester United win. Sunderland the only goal scorer. I'm gonna go for Bowie. For Man United, I'm gonna go for Bruno Fernandes to score and to get an assist as well. Casemiro to score as well. And I'm going to go for Benjamin Sesko to score, or maybe Kobe Mainu, whoever that is. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Manchester United win against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light tomorrow, which is a 3 p.m. kickoff, which is crazy because I can't remember the last time Man United ever played on a 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. But yeah, 3-1 to Man United. And there we move on into another Manchester club who is also playing on a Saturday, and that is Manchester City at home to Brentford. Of course, both sides. I think both sides didn't win their last game. What was Brentford result? 1 second. Oh yeah, no, actually, Brentford won 3-0 at home to West Ham. So there we go. But yeah, Man City, like I said, is a must-win game for them. Must-win game because they play um a day before Arsenal, and they want to put the pressure on Arsenal. So Man City have got to win this game, and they do have a game in hand as well. So there you go. So yeah, so I mean, there's nothing else to say other than the Manchester City win. And if they don't, then boy, their title chances will go further down, especially if Arsenal beat West Ham away on Sunday. And I'll do that prediction as well later on. But let's just have a look at these stats. So and Pep is under some serious pressure. And like I said, he's expected to leave this season, and he definitely does want to leave the season without going back to back. In fact, Pep Guardiola has never, ever, gone back to back season without winning the title in his managerial career. He has never done so. So he has really got to win this game. So let's look at these stats. Though they have only failed to score in one of their last 9 Premier League games against Brentford, Man City's average 1.4 goals per game against the Blues is their lowest against any opponent they face under Pep Guardiola. Brentford have lost 3 of their last 4 Premier League away games against Man City, with the exception being a 2-0 win in November 2022, and that was before the FIFA World Cup began. Having lost their first Premier League home match of the season 2-0 against Tottenham Hotspur, Man City are unbeaten in the last 15 at the Etihad, scoring at least twice in 13 of those 15 games. Manchester City have dropped 17 points from winning positions in the Premier League this season, their most in a single campaign since the 08-09 season. 12 of these have come in 2026, the joint most of any side this year, along with Newcastle and Tottenham. Only Liverpool have scored more goals in the final 50 minutes of the Premier League than Brentford this season. However, Man City have conceded fewer goals in this time frame than any other side. And finally, Man City have conceded the first goal in just 5 different Premier League games this season. The only side to do fewer in the campaign are the Citizens themselves, which was 3, which was the 18 to 19 season, which they did win the league. So, as you can see here, these stats kind of favors more on City than it does to Brentford. But like I said, it's a must-win game for Man City, absolute must-win game. Because if they drop points again and Arsenal win at West Ham, then for me, then it's done. For me, it's done unless Arsenal keep dropping points and then Man City keep winning games, especially if they game in hand. So yeah, man, it's a must-win game for Man City, and I'm pretty sure that Arsenal fans will be watching that game tomorrow. So there we go. But yeah, man, for this game, I think it's gonna be a tough game, but I feel like Man City will just about get it done. Um, I was thinking of a 2-1, but I'm thinking to myself, would they keep a clean sheet? Because Brentford do tend to score goals. But before that, they haven't done so. But yeah, they scored 3 against West Ham, but West Ham were absolutely awful. They really was awful. You know what? I'm gonna go for 2-0 City. I'm gonna go for 2-0 City. If it does end 2-1, then I blame myself. But I think it's gonna be 2-0 because I'll tell you something, yeah. If Mark Gray didn't make that mistake against Everton, Man City would never drop points in that game. Absolutely not. And if Man City had better chance in the first half, Man City would have definitely won that game. So for me, Man City, yeah, need to make sure they're clinical and they don't make any stupid more mistakes to allow the opposition to get back into the game. Do you know what I mean? So for me, the pressure's on City. Then if they don't win this game, then they're in so much trouble. So much trouble. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-0 Man City win. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Wayne Cherky and Erling Haaland to score. So yeah, 2-0 to Man City. It's gonna be my score prediction for that game tomorrow. So there we go. All right, let's move on into Super Sunday's game. So the first game, of course, is Burnley versus Aston Villa. Of course, Aston Villa got that huge 4-0 win at home against Nottingham Forest for the second leg, and they've qualified for the Europa League final. So I'm pretty sure that Aston Villa may will tail a little bit, but not that much because they want to also get themselves, secure Champions League football. So we shall see, man. But Aston Villa, I believe, got that they've lost 2-1 at home to Tottenham, mind you. Whereas for Burnley, of course, what can I say, man? What can I say? They lost 3-1 away to Leeds, and yeah, Burnley are relegated. They're already relegated. So for this game, I'm not gonna read out these stats because what is even the point? For me, Aston Villa are going to win this game, so yeah, for this game on Sunday, I'm gonna go for a 2-0 Aston Villa win. The goal scorers, I'm gonna go. In fact, by the way, I think it may be the first goal. Like Emi Buendia, by the way. Wow, wow, wow. That skill did not make the. In fact, he just went past two Nottingham Forest players, make puts in a great ball in to find Ollie Watkins, and that was 1-0 on the night. And he scored two goals, by the way. Emi Buendia, like he was absolutely superb. So let's see if Aston Villa will do the same thing again on Sunday when they face Burnley away, which they've already relegated. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Ollie Watkins and Henry Buendia to score, and my score prediction is gonna be Burnley nil as Villa 2. So there we go. All right, the next game, of course, is Crystal Palace at home to Everton. Of course, Everton got a 3-0 draw against Man City. For Crystal Palace, got they've lost 3-0 away to Bournemouth. And of course, Crystal Palace, like I mentioned, are in the Conference League final to face Rayo Vallecano. So yeah, man. So I don't know what Palace are going to do in this game, but we shall see, man. We shall see what happens. But let's have a look at these stats for that game. So let's have a look. So Crystal Palace have won just one of their last 22 Premier League games against Everton and are winners in 8 since a 3-1 win in December 2021. Everton have lost just 2 of the last 16 Premier League away games against Crystal Palace, going down 1-0 in October 1994 and 3-1 in December 2021. Crystal Palace have lost their last two Premier League matches, shipping in 3 goals in both 3-1 Liverpool and 3-0 against Bournemouth. The Eagles have lost 3 in a row while conceding 3+ goals since October/November 2016. Thanks to losing goals against Liverpool and West Ham and an equaling goal from Manchester City, Everton are the first team in Premier League history to concede 90 minutes or later, resulting in an alternating goal in 3 consecutive matches. Since 16th of January, when Olivier Garza announced he was leaving Crystal Palace at the end of the season, Palace ranked 19th for both shots and shots on target in the Premier League, ahead only already relegated Burnley. And finally, Everton have conceded exactly 2 goals in each of their last 4 away Premier League games, though they have gone now 29 games in a row without conceding more tries in a game. The last time they went 30 plus in a row was between December 2009 and September 2011. And finally, Crystal Palace have drawn 5 home Premier League games goalless this season, the most by any team in the season since Aston Villa in the 08-09. The last team with more was Portsmouth in the 07-08 season, which was 6 times. So, as you can see here, these stats kind of do work more in Everton's favour than it does with Crystal Palace. So, there we go. So for this game, I'm gonna go for. I usually go for a draw, but I just feel like Crystal Palace right now, the fact that they conceded 3 goals in both games, like it's crazy, man. So and also Everton have conceded in the 90th minute, but I feel like they're going to. I feel like Everton will win this game. Then they'll probably concede, 90 minutes or less, but that's not going to affect them because the fact that Everton have have only lost 2 Premier League games against Crystal Palace in you know since it began. Like it's absolutely crazy. It really is. So I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Everton win against Crystal Palace. The goal scorers for Everton, I'm gonna go for Beto, eliminating Dye, and someone else. For Crystal Palace, I'm only gonna go for um Ismail Assar. So yeah, 3-1 Everton. It's gonna be my score prediction for that game tomorrow. So sorry, on Sunday. So there we go. All right, the next game is Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle United. Of course, both teams did win their last game by 3 goals to 1. But Forest, though, yesterday got an absolute battering 4-0 away to Villa Park. Yesterday, and they are out of the Europa League. So their chances of getting to the Champions League is over. They could have done it last season and they failed. They could have done it this season if they didn't sign Nuno Espirito Santo, but they couldn't. So there we go. But yeah, Newcastle, they ended a one of 4 Premier League games without a defeat, but they are facing a Nottingham Forest team, yeah, who are in a really good run of form in the last 6 Premier League games because their form table is in first place. So yeah, man. So let's see the stats for that game as well. So let's have a look. So here it is. Nottingham Forest have won just one of their last 15 Premier League games against Newcastle, losing 9 of the last 10. The only victory came at St James Park in December 2023, which was a 3-1 win. Newcastle are unbeaten in all 7 Premier League away games against Nottingham Forest. Both they faced an opponent without losing, and the most Forest have faced a side without winning in the competition. Newcastle have won each of their last 4 Premier League away games against Nottingham Forest. They've never won 5 in a row on the road against any opponent in the top flight. Following their 4-1 victory over Burnley at the City Ground last time out, Nottingham Forest are looking for consecutive home Premier League wins for the first time since March or April 2025 when they beat Man City and Manchester United. Only Wolves and Sunderland have scored fewer away Premier League goals this season than Newcastle United, with the Magpies failing to score in 7 different away games, the most in a season since COVID. Nottingham Forest have won their last 3 Premier League games, beaten Burnley, Sunderland, and Chelsea. They've scored 3+ goals in 4 consecutive 4-night matches in March or April 1995. And finally, Newcastle have lost 9 of the last 16 Premier League games so far in 2026, with only Burnley losing more this year. Defeat in this match will be the earliest they've reached 10 league games from the start of the calendar year since 2015, which was 15 games. So there you go with these stats. So I mean it's so tough to predict because Newcastle um won their last game. But for Forest, they're really good in terms of in the Premier League. In fact, if I take a look at their form table, Nottingham Forest have won 4 Premier League games and have only drawn one. And that I think that one was against Man City, I'm not mistaken, or something like that. But yeah, Nottingham Forest are on a better one of form than Newcastle. And guess what, people? If Nottingham Forest beat Newcastle, they go above them. they got above them, and also if Forest do win their game, then they're not safe yet because they 6 points above the relegation. But if Forest win and West Ham lose, then their chances of staying up could happen. It really could. So for me, it's a must-win game for Forest. And if they can do that, then they could be safe as well. The same way Newcastle are safe because they're on 45 points. So there we go. But in terms of this game, since Forest are in a better form than Newcastle, I'm gonna go for let's go for 3-1 because Nottingham Forest in the last three games have beaten Burnley 4-1, Chelsea 3-1, and who else I've forgotten? Yeah, Sunderland 5-0 away from home. So there we go. So yeah, man, I think Forest will be safe if they get this win. For Newcastle, away from home, they're just really poor right now. I guess they got that win against Brighton at home, but before that, four Premier League games without a row. I think Eddie Howe is still under pressure. So we'll see, man. We shall see. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Forest win against Newcastle. Goal scorers for Newcastle. The only one I'm gonna go for is Anthony Gordon. For New Forest, I'm gonna go for Morgan Gibbs White. I want you to score and Wayne Anderson to score for Nottingham Forest. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Forest win against Newcastle on Sunday. So there we go. And then it's not a huge game and it's not a big one, but it's a massive one. West Ham, a team trying to survive, versus Arsenal, a team that's trying to win the title. And it's at the London Stadium as well. And I'm so glad that this game is live on TV because usually the West Ham Arsenal games usually is not on TV, but I'm so glad it is today because the whole world will be watching that game, including Man City fans. But yeah, West Ham got that 3-0 loss away to Brentford, which was their London derby. For Arsenal, though, they got a 3-0 home win against Fulham in their London derby winning, at the Emirates Stadium. So this is huge, man. This is absolutely huge. And I'm looking forward to this. I really am. So basically, if Man City win, they've also got to win as well. They really got to win because if they don't, then the fact that they've also allowed City in the title race will be a concern, man. It really would. It really will be a concern. But let's have a look at these stats while we're at it. So West Ham have lost 38 Premier League games against Arsenal. They've only lost more often against Liverpool, while the Gunners have only beaten Everton more, which was 40 times. Arsenal have won their last two away league games against West Ham, 6-0 two seasons ago and 5-2 last season. In English league history, only West Brom have scored 5+ goals in three consecutive away games against an opponent, which was Birmingham between 1957 and 1960. Arsenal won the reverse fixture 2-0 against West Ham in October. They completed the league double over the Hammers 12 times previously, with only Man United doing so against an opponent, 16 against Villa and 14 against Everton. West Ham are unbeaten in their last six home Premier League matches, having a longer unbeaten one on home soil between 2015 and April 16 in their final season at Upton Park. Arsenal have scored their opening goal in the opening 10 minutes in each of their last two Premier League matches, netting the ninth minute against both Newcastle and Fulham. They haven't done that in three games in a row since 2002 against Leeds, Sunderland, and Everton. And West Ham have lost all five of their home London derbies in the Premier League this season. No team in English football history has ever lost six home games against a fellow London teams in the season. And finally, Arsenal have scored 27 goals via set pieces in the Premier League this season, more than any other side, with their 17 from corners too, and also the most by a team in the season ever. West Ham, meanwhile, have conceded the most corner goals, and only Bournemouth have conceded more from set pieces than the Hammers, which was 23 times. So, as you can see here, these stats work in Arsenal's favour. But listen, the fact that I saw a stat that says West Ham unbeaten lost 6 home Premier League games this season. This could be a significant one. It really could. Now, if you were to ask Tottenham fans, they would rather, yeah, see this game being the draw, because they do not want Arsenal to win, because it will allow them to win the league, and they do not want West Ham to win, even though they like it, but it will make but it tell but it will get them back into the relegation zone. And if you look at that Monday, Tottenham have got Leeds United, which is another huge game. It really is. So we shall see, man. So it's going to be tough for me to predict, because obviously, as a hater, I want West Ham to win that game. I really do. But if I got to be honest, West Ham at the moment, like, let me see their form in the Premier League. Let me just have a quick look. Let's just see. Yeah, West Ham, their form, they've already got 2 wins in the last 5 Premier League games, and those 2 came at home. But for Arsenal, they got 3 wins in the last 5 Premier League games. So, yeah, man, it's so tough to predict, because West Ham are really fighting for their lives, you know. They really are. So, I mean, I'm gonna go for a Arsenal win of 3-1. I'm gonna go 3-1 to Arsenal. There's so many 3-1s, you know, so many of them. I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Arsenal win, because the fact that they've went to the London Stadium, put 5 past them last season, and put 6 past them the season before that is absolutely crazy. It really is. But West Ham, you know, despite West Ham, you know, losing at the London Stadium last season, they won at the Emirates twice. Last season and the season before that. So whenever Arsenal win games, West Ham do the same thing. So I wouldn't be surprised here the fact that Arsenal beat West Ham at the Emirates Stadium, and then West Ham. Sorry, I wouldn't be surprised that the fact that Arsenal won against them at the Emirates, but then West Ham beat Arsenal at the London Stadium. Because whenever Arsenal win, West Ham do the same thing. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna go for 3-1 Arsenal, because to be honest with you, you know, West Ham, they had chances of them to climb themselves, to have more of a chance of staying up, but they let themselves down. So West Ham cannot afford to drop points. They cannot afford to lose. Otherwise, they're in so much trouble. Because if West Ham, you know, because if Arsenal beat West Ham and then Tottenham beat Leeds United with 2 games to go, Tottenham will be 4 points ahead of West Ham, and they could reach the 40-point mark. It's, you know, when as we get into the end of the season. It's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So for me, West Ham have got to win, but I don't see that happening. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-1 Arsenal. Arsenal's goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Declan Rice, because he lost scoring against West Ham. I'm gonna go for Bukayo Saka and who is it? Again, Victor Gyökeres. For West Ham, the only goal scorer for me is going to be Jared Bowen, and that's basically it. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Arsenal win against West Ham in a London derby. So there we go. All right, this game is gonna be interesting, because Tottenham Hotspur are home to Leeds United. Now, Tottenham Hotspur, by the way, since Robert De Zerbi was appointed, look at this. You know, 2 wins in 4 Premier League games. So his first game was away to Sunderland, and they've lost. But then after that, they drew at home against Brighton. Then they got a result away to Wolves, which was their first win in 2026. And then they've got a 2-1 away win against Aston Villa. Now, nobody expect that to happen, but they did. So, fair play. Now, the reason why I feel like it's so tough to predict, because Look at Leeds as well. They're in a good form as well. 3 wins, 2 draws in the last 5 Premier League games. Like, it's crazy, man. It really is crazy. So I'm going to tell you guys what my score predictions is going to be on Monday, but I'm not quite sure if we got any stats for this one. Okay, we do. So okay, well, we do now. Okay, cool. So here it is. Spurs have won 8 of their last 9 Premier League games against Leeds, including the last 5 in a row since a 3-1 loss in May 2021. After winning 3 of their last 4 away league games against Spurs between 1997 and 2001, Leeds have now lost each of their last 6 visits. Following victories over Wolves and Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur are looking to win 3 consecutive Premier League games for the first time since February 2025. Since the start of December, only 6 teams have picked up more Premier League points than Leeds United, and only Man City, Man United, and Bournemouth have lost fewer games than Leeds United. In their 4 games under Robert De Zerbi, Spurs have won possession in the final third 5.63 times per game on average. That's the most of any manager with 4+ games at a single club in the Premier League this season, and much higher than managed to do so under Thomas Frank and Igor Tudor. Leeds United have scored 3 or more goals in 8 different Premier League matches this season, the most by many promoted teams since Leeds themselves did so in 2020 under 21 under Marco Bielsa, which is basically the COVID season. And Leeds United are unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League games, and have already had a 7-game unbeaten one this season from December to early January. The last newly reported team to have 2 wins of more than 7+ unbeaten games in a season were Middlesbrough. No, and finally, no team has won fewer home Premier League points this season than Tottenham Hotspur, who have lost 10 home games for a second consecutive season. Only 1991 to 92 season had they ever lost more home league games in a season, which was 11. So there we go, man. So, in terms of this prediction, usually I wanted to go either for Tottenham win because they're in a good form, or Leeds win because they're also in a good form. But you know what, people? I'm gonna go for Desmond 2-2. I'm gonna go for draw because of 3 things. Number one, Leeds United are better form than Tottenham. They really are. And number two, Tottenham has still not, won a Premier League home game. They still haven't, which is absolutely crazy. So let's see if Robert De Zerbi can end that. Let me just have a look. I'm gonna have a look. When was the last when was the last time Tottenham won a Premier League won a Premier League home game? Let me have a look. Yeah, look at this. The last time, Tottenham got to win again. Whoa. Sorry. The last time, Tottenham won a Premier League game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was December the 6th. December the 6th. And today's the 8th of May. So that's basically 5 months. It has been 5 months, since Tottenham last won a Premier League home game. Like, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. If you look at this, Tottenham, have already won 2 home games, at the Tottenham Stadium in the Premier League this season. The opening day against Burnley, and then a 2-0 win against Brentford in December. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So, yeah, man. So this is what I think for me it's gonna be a draw because, like, if Tottenham win, then cool. If Leeds win, then cool. But I just don't see it happening. I really do not. So I'm gonna go for Desmond 2-2. I think it may not be enough for Tottenham, but if Robert De Zerbi can end that curse, then cool. Like, Tottenham, could have won their first Premier League home game if they would have been Brighton, but they conceded late on, and their home form is really, really bad, really, really bad. So that's what I think for me is that it's gonna be a 2-all draw in this game. It's so tough to predict, man. It really is. So I'm gonna go 2-all draw, and the goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Tottenham goal scorers. I'm gonna go for hmm. I'm gonna go for with Charlison, maybe Conor Gallagher to score. Hope we'll see. For Leeds United, I'm gonna go for Okafor and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score for Tottenham Hotspur. For Leeds United against Tottenham. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-all draw in that game on Monday night, and that is a huge and important game, especially for Tottenham Hotspur. All right, so let me go for my predictions one more time. So tomorrow's games, for lunchtime kickoff, I went for a 3-0 Chelsea, you see me. 3-0 Liverpool win against Chelsea. Then I've gone for a 3-0 Brighton win against Wolves, a 3-1 Bournemouth win against Fulham, a 3-1 Man United win against Sunderland, and then a 2-0 Man City win against Brentford. Those are Saturday's games. For Super Sundays, I've gone for a 2-0 Villa win against Burnley, a 3-1 Everton win against Palace, a 3-1 Forest win against Newcastle, and then a 3-1 Arsenal win against West Ham in a huge London derby game. And then on Monday Night Football, I went for a Desmond 2-all draw between Tottenham and Leeds United, as Tottenham are looking to survive from relegation in the Premier League this season. And that, my people, is the Premier predictions, my Premier predictions, sorry, for game week number 36. And since that's the end of my predictions, that's the end of this video. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you that have watched this video. And if you have enjoyed it, do like, do subscribe, hype the video so that it can boost my channel to get more subscribers and more viewers as the content goes on. And yeah, man, don't forget there will be a live watch along and a match reaction for the Liverpool Chelsea game. And yeah, I didn't say I didn't have enough energy, but you know what? Since we're getting to the end of this season, I was thinking, you know what? Let me just do the watch along. So there will be a watch along for that game tomorrow. And yeah, if there's any more games, in fact, guys, next season I've got something very special, yeah, for you guys. I've got something very special so that my subscribers can boost up. So make sure you check it out later. It will be coming very, very soon. So do make sure you check it out. But guys, thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video. It's your boy Elijah here. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Premier League games. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. I will catch up. I'm out, people. Peace.